All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Sales Manager Academy podcast. As always, I'm your host, Omar, and we talk about leadership in the retail world, specifically more the boutique, small retail space, right? AV, appliances, wireless, furniture, things where you really have to be more of a subject matter expert to really be able to maximize and get the most. Okay. And today, one of the things I want to talk about, and we've been talking about it, right, is making sure your team is up to par. They understand their pay. They are getting trained and developed, right? Because oftentimes, and this is a mistake I see out of a lot of people, a lot of managers, is you treat them like entry level roles, but you expect seasoned sales expert experience, right? You can't have it both ways. Either it truly is an entry level position, or you really need to level them up and really get them up to par, which is going to take training development. It's going to take time and investment to get them up to that level. And it's doable. You just have to understand what frame of mind you're in. And for instance, one of the biggest things that I know a lot of you struggle with is that work life balance. You have multiple locations, you're running a larger territory, and you feel that you're constantly on call, you're constantly getting hit up. And listen, it can feel like that at first, but you need to set time aside to do the training, the developing, because that's where you're going to see the big differentiator. Okay. If you're constantly needing to reach out to your team, especially on your days off, when you're off the clock, okay, when you're not on site, okay, to, you know, push performance, then that's a big red flag. The performance should be there whether you are there or not, right? Maybe there's a slight boost because you're on site and you can help close as an extra person that's there, okay, whenever traffic gets heavy. But whether you're there or not, the location should be performing. If you're constantly needing to check up on them every few hours, like, hey, what's going on with the numbers? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? That's not leading. That's not doing anything. You're micromanaging. Because if you're not there, if you truly take off, your team is not going to perform. Okay? And that you can truly see happen. How? Take time off. Truly be disconnected. Don't be badgering your team. They should be performing with or without you. When your team can't perform, right? They can't perform unless you're constantly micromanaging, constantly blasting them when you're supposed to be off. That's a big red flag. They haven't been trained, they're not being developed. So, what are they missing? You don't know. They don't understand. And you're probably going to see higher churn on the back end because a lot of things aren't being sold properly. They're just being tacked on, they're being slammed, and they're not being sold on the value, right? They're not buying that value. I have this saying, and I know you guys get this wrong all the fucking time, okay? Because you guys say people don't like to be sold, they love to buy. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe people genuinely get excited about buying things. What they get excited about is being sold on something. That means that they understand the value. That means they can see themselves using it and seeing how that's going to help them become better at whatever they're doing, right? It's going to bring some kind of value more that they didn't have before. They're being sold on it. People love to be sold. They hate to buy. Because think about it, when you go and you have to buy something, are you super excited about having to buy something? No, because man, I have to do this. I have to take time out to go ahead. It's not an experience. But when you're sold on something, you're excited about it. There's emotion behind it. It becomes more of an experience. It's not some humdrum thing that's run the mill that's a waste of my time. I'm excited about doing this. I'm excited about this purchase. People love to be sold. And this is part of what we need to train our people to do, to be able to sell people, to be able to train our people to truly build value to what's being offered. How do you do that? What's an easy way to do that? Small micro learning sessions. I'm going to beat this horse dead, okay? And this dead horse is going to keep getting, beat until we get this right. Micro learnings work much better because people can see the results right away in real time, and they can actually understand how this is happening, how this actually correlates to each other, and the benefits of doing it this way because they're seeing the results right away. It's a habit building formula. And that's what we need to help you get to, is learning how to have that habit loop. Okay? Because it does truly make a big difference. Because when they have and understand, oh, when I do this action, I get this result and this is what I get from it, right? They see it. They start to see that loop. Okay? If you want to learn a little bit more about that, right? If you're a book nerd and you want to spend time picking something up that's going to give you some research on it, right? The Power Habit by Charles Duhigg, that is a must read. Because a lot of that is what you guys need, is you need to have an understanding. Honestly, being a sales leader means you're essentially going to have a degree, either a bachelor's or a master's in psychology, informally. I can't tell you the amount of material that I picked up on my own through classes, seminars, material, right? Whether that's online programs, books, research papers, to learn some of the stuff like how can I get just a little bit better? How can I be able to present this in a different way? Because that's the other thing too. It's not just having the material, but understanding how different personalities will take that material and interpret it and being able to help them get that aha moment. It's not about sitting them down for an 8-hour class for a week straight, right? Throwing a bunch of information at them and then setting them off and hopefully it'll stick. That is the spaghetti on the wall approach. And while you might get a few strands that stick, a few people that stick around, you're letting far more talent out. You're spending so much capital in time and resources, bringing in so many different people only to watch the majority of them leave because you don't have a way to retain that talent, because you can't duplicate the results, and you wonder why you bleed talent, why you struggle to find people that are going to stick around, why you have issues with your talent performing. And it's not that the talent's not capable. People want to perform. Your people want to do well. Okay? Nobody really goes to a job and says, man, I hope I suck at this. And you know this because most of you in this world didn't come into this world thinking this would be a career. You ended up in it and kind of fell in love with it. You got sold on it. You saw a vision. You're like, man, this I could see myself doing this, right? That was me when I was in the wireless world, when I went through retail. It was like, oh shit, there's a lot more to this that I didn't expect. As a leader, seeing how your people can grow, spending just small little bit of time every single day, getting them better. And you have to really have an approach to it to get them to that level. And when you don't have an approach, you can't make it repeatable. You can't help them realize what they're learning because you don't remember, okay, well, I did this last time. I'll do this time. A lot of that you won't remember. Okay, the way you deliver it, the way, oh, snaps. People kind of got lost in this section. Let me try to rephrase it. Let me see how else I could bring this up in this way, right? See if maybe we can get a little bit of different frame of mind, a different mindset approach, whatever you want to do, okay? But have an approach. Spend a little bit of time. I like sitting down informally to do 15-minute coaching sessions. Hey, let's walk through your pitch. Pitch me this product. Pitch me this service. What is your pitch? Well, I just, when a customer comes in and I have that interaction, I just offer it. Okay, what is your offer? When do you offer it? What are you looking for? What are the signals that you're trying to pick up on that you know? Okay, let me ask you, how about this? What about there being something that you say that you kind of noticed works a little bit more than some of the other ways that you phrase it or the other ways that you position the questions? Okay. It makes a big difference. I've seen it. I told y'all that 15-minute framework, right? Grab it in the description, that I've used throughout my 20 plus year career. Okay. I used it myself. And it's essentially what I took away. And it's like, you know what? This works a little bit better. I can do this. Let me try it this way. Okay. And I didn't overcomplicate it. I broke it down and just a 3-step approach where my 3 actions that I'm going to push on to get my results at the end. It is one of those that you want to really get after and focus on. Okay. It makes a difference in the way that your team is going to be performing and how they retain the information. Remember, as a leader, you're there to build up your team so that they can perform. Because when they can perform without you there, you can actually relax. You can enjoy your time off. It's not a matter of, man, yes, I'm off, but I need to be constantly connected because they can't do anything without me. That's not what it should be like. As an owner operator, that's what you want to get to, where your teams aren't reaching out to you directly. They're reaching out to their managers, to their direct leadership, right? And then once you have that GM that steps in for you, right? Or whoever you're putting in to step in for you, they're reaching out less and less to you. It might feel lonely for you, right? But that's when you as an owner operator can really step away from the business. You can either be fully involved or you can step away and the business is going to run with or without you. And that is the goal. Same thing for you as a leader. The goal is to have you be able to enjoy your time off, not worry about, you know, if I take a week off of vacation, am I going to come back to, my house on fire per se, right? Knowing that whether you're there or not, your team is going to step up and perform. Okay. That's what makes a difference. Where your leadership can look at you and say, you know what? You develop great talent. When you take vacation, when you're not there, your team still performs. They don't need you around to, perform. It's not a bad thing. A lot of people, a lot of managers are scared of their teams being able to perform without them there. So they don't take the time to truly train them. They'll give them tidbits, but they don't give them that freedom to really grow and develop. They don't spend that time investing. So that's what you want to move away from. Stop micromanaging your team. Start spending time in training and developing. It doesn't mean you're running 8-hour sessions, right, for training and developing. It means you're spending a focused 15 minutes, maybe every day, every other day, once a week. You got to decide, right, depending on the level that your team is at, what you're trying to change, how that's going to look. Take time to help them perform, become better, right? Through training and developing. You're listening to them. You're not telling them, okay? I have videos where we talked about this on how to do a coaching and training session. And one of the biggest things I talk about, and one of the biggest mistakes I see, is as a leader, you telling your team what they need to do to become better. Because there's no self-discovery. There is no ownership of that. There is a psychology to doing and running great training sessions, great coaching sessions. When you tell them what they need to do, they lose that. They don't have that ownership, so they don't know how to or what to do. And when they don't reach that level, hey, I'm not the one who said I needed to do this, right? I'm not the one who took ownership of this. And that's where you want to really step up and make sure that your team isn't doing that and they're taking ownership. So you got to let them be the ones talking the majority of the time. Let them self-discover. It doesn't mean that you can't help guide where the conversation is going, okay? Don't let them go into la la land. Keep it focused. And you're going to see that they will get to that response and get to that answer, and they will have that aha moment that switches in their head. And it's like, oh, I could just do that, and I'll see those results. And once they start taking those actions right away, and they start seeing the results right away, okay, because it's not taking them, a week after learning this material. They're doing it in real time, and they're getting those results in real time. That's where that habit loop, and more importantly, right, what I've mentioned before, where the actual practice, okay, the actual performance has to come first before the motivation. Okay, the motivation comes after, because once they do the action, they get the results, they will be motivated to continue, as opposed to the other way around, where you try to motivate your team, rah, 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 and then they don't see results right away. It demotivates them. It doesn't get them to continue to want to perform. So don't be that one. Be the one who's actually training and developing your team so that they will motivate themselves to continuously perform and become better. And you will see a difference there. Okay. Those are super important. Stop micromanaging, focus on coaching and developing, and you're going to be able to enjoy your time off as a leader when you're supposed to be off. And you're going to see and love how your team is truly stepping up to what you thought. And honestly, a lot of times they will blow your mind as to how well they will be performing and in how short a time they'll get there. All right, guys. I want to say thank you once again for stepping into another episode here at the Sales Manager Academy podcast. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button, right? And let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I want to interact. I want to know what you guys think. What issues are you running into? So thanks, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.